Good evening and welcome to your number one program when it comes to giving you information on what is happening at the National Assembly. Welcome to NAS Watch. My name is Cynthia Agbo. Today we have a number of things to talk about, which of course centers on the challenges of the National Assembly, or rather challenges that the National Assembly face. We're moving away from Electoral Amendment Act. We're moving away from the huge conversion of budgets. We're moving away from so many things. And we just want to focus on some of the issues that Nigerians have complained about when it comes to the activities of the National Assembly. You should also know that the early part of 2026, now the 10th National Assembly of Nigeria facing significant scrutiny and of course internal disruption, and with a number of issues that were highlighted, talking about legislative turnover, reducing institutional memory, frequent recesses like what we're experiencing right now, undermining productivity, and of course slow constitutional amendment processes. Key issues including accusation of poor accountability, gender-related bill setbacks, and controversies over electoral laws such as electronic result transmission. Now, these are major issues surrounding the National Assembly conversation. Now, on this show today, we're going to be highlighting some of which we picked out, to talk about with our guests. Now, one of it is low turnover and poor institutional memory. We also have declining productivity, which we'll be talking about, and frequent recesses. We also have constitutional and electoral reform delays. We also have lack of transparency and accountability, gender bias in legislation, oversight weaknesses, and executive interference, controversial legislative proposals. All of these we're going to be dissecting. And of course, we sat down with Honorable Solomon Bulus Maren, a former House of Representatives who represented Mango Boko's federal constituency. And we discussed a number of these issues, bedeviling the 10th National Assembly. Let's get to it.
Honorable Solomon Bulus Maren, it's so great to have you on Last Watch.
My pleasure, always.
All right, so let's go straight to the conversation. Now, there are a number of things that we need to talk about. And but first of all, I would like to ask you, how is time away from National Assembly? How is life away from National Assembly?
Well, I would say it's very relaxing, devoid of all the stress. And it's also a time to sit back and look at what you did in the past and also check some of the mistakes you made, and of course some of the things that if given another opportunity, or you can advise somebody not to do, or things that you should do more. So it's a very good time out here, and we have regained our weight. We have regained several things that we lost before. So I think it's a good time.
Okay. I can say that looking back at your time, I mean, you were not one of those lawmakers that were just dormant. You were outspoken. I mean, I have several of your clips there, which of course will be flying on the screen. You raised a number of issues. Did some of the motions and bills you proposed while in the House, were you able to see them actualized?
Well, a few of them, yes, but others lingers on, and I think they are still part of what this President Assembly is working on. The issues of bills is that when you bring up a bill, you can only do your best to follow up the bill and pursue it up to second reading. After the second reading, it's out of your control.
That's true.
Yeah, because it goes to the committee of the whole, or it goes to the committee in charge of that area in the House, and then they submit their reports, and then of course the bill is now gazetted. It now comes back for third reading, and this and that, probably sent to the Senate for concurrence.
To the reps for the Senate for concurrence.
Yes, and it never comes back from the Senate.
So you think that certain bills die at the Senate?
Many of them. You can,
where is that?
Can you see from this last assembly, there was a motion on the floor which I watched, threatening that bills from the Senate will also not be, considered until the bills which have been sent to them, are brought back. So these are the same problems all over the place, and it has been there for quite a while. So the energy, you find in the House may not be in the Senate because they are usually much older people, and there are a lot of things that they don't have the time to do, and the rest of them, the energy to do, so to say, and the rest of them. But in the House, they are young people, they are zealous, he wants to have a bill passed, he wants to pursue these ones, he has to make this part of the things that his constituents probably complain about the person he replaced in the House. So he's trying to see how he can be able to make a difference. So they do all those things with every enthusiasm, and so sometimes they get hooked up at that level. And those bills are passed and they get to the Senate for concurrence and they never come back.
Which I know we're going to move away from there and talk about a number of issues, but this is a very important area because I think I remember sometime last year I was having this conversation and someone mentioned these exact words, saying certain bills get missing at the Senate. In fact, which begged the question, is it that the Senate is not in unison with, because there was this controversy about the Senate not being in unison with the House of Reps, and even in during the last debate on the electoral amendment, if you recall, one of the senators did say that they prefer the resolutions from the House of Reps regarding to the electoral amendment bill, and they would prefer that they pick that of the House of Reps over that of the Senate. And so I am very keen to know, these houses are meant to work in unison for the good and progress of their different constituencies and Nigeria at large. So if we are having disparity in terms of attention to bills, in terms of priority of bills, in terms of this one matters to the House of Reps, this one matters to the Senate, don't you think that is a problem for the Nigerian people?
Well, you see, in a bicameral legislation like the one we have, both chambers are independent of one another, and working in unison is only a courtesy. It's not a right, neither is it compulsory, and that is why they independently pass their bills and they go for concurrence. Sometimes at that concurrence, it is just out of courtesy to say, well, give us reasons why you pick this as against what this other section we feel is necessary. And probably at that discussion, you look at the reasons and say, okay, no problem, let's pick this one of Senate and drop this of the House of Rep, and pick this of the House of Rep and drop this of the Senate. So all this is just for you to be able to have a consensus and we have a rancor-free passage. Because every law that you pass is not just passing the law that matters.
Okay.
It's people accepting the law itself, the institution that passed it also accepting to stand by the law, and Nigerians also having acceptability of that law. Because if you look at, if you pass a law and it's not acceptable, it will never go anywhere. And that is why in the process of lawmaking has to involve public hearing, where interested stakeholders of that sector are invited. And even if they are not invited, there is a public advertisement that is always made in respect of that public hearing. So in case you are not invited, maybe the House didn't notice that you are a stakeholder that should be invited. And in the process, you get to see the advertisement. You can as well make your position known. And you have a right to come even on the day of the public hearing to say that I have a position on this bill I am support of this, I am not in support of this, and this is what I feel should be. So that public hearing is for the public to also display their interest on the bill and how they feel the bill affects them. And it is expected that any arm of the legislature that is handling those bills must reflect on those observations and see how they can correct them. And you see, in the passage of the Electoral Act, the House version was absolutely electronic transmission of results, real-time transmission of results. And of course, the Senate looked at if NCC is telling us that Nigeria is 97, 96, or 95% covered. What do we do with the 3 or 4% that are not covered? Are we going to, by passage of this law, now disenfranchise them completely and say it doesn't matter? So if their own result cannot come, no problem. We can decide elections without them.
Without them.
Yes. Some of these units we are talking about, or some of these areas that are not covered, you never can know the kind of population that they have and the voting strength that are in those areas.
True.
And what vote they are capable of influencing. So in order not to make them or disenfranchise them, that caveat was necessary. As far as I'm concerned, under my personal, that's my personal view, it's necessary.
So you think that of the Senate, the version of the Senate was more realistic?
Yes.
As compared to that of the House of Reps?
Not just being realistic, it was more, it was going to carry every Nigerian along. But
it caused an uproar. Lots of Nigerians felt, oh, you're trying to create opportunity to have manipulation take place. That's a speculation from a lot of Nigerians. And the questions like, what does it take for us to have an election where everything will be electronically transmitted? Look at how much we are spending on election. Look at how much the budget is when it comes to elections. So I know that we wanted to discuss INEC and election, but I'm sure you do have 1 or 2 ideas regarding that.
Yeah, you see, the problem is this. If 97 or 95% of election results are transmitted electronically, so what is the problem?
What is the problem?
What is the problem?
It is a huge problem. It means it's 100.
5%?
Look now how much we are spending.
5%? So are you saying that the 5% don't matter?
Well, I'm really answering. But yes,
this is what we are looking at too.
Okay, so
are you saying that the 5% don't matter?
The budget is what I think almost $1 trillion, for example.
Doesn't matter. What I think I see.
And we can still have 100% electronically transmitted.
What I think I see is that the judiciary should measure up. It's not about whether you transmit or you don't transmit. It's not a problem. While it may be a problem because the judiciary hinged on some of these issues in the past, but now it is there. So when you now come and say this is not the result that was transmitted, they cannot deny the fact that it wasn't transmitted because it's already there now. Then it wasn't there, it was a discretion of INEC. So if INEC decided to come and say, well, no, some of these results were collected them manually, the one we are talking about, we cannot be sure whether they were collected manually or through transmission. Now, the body now lies in the judiciary. So, for me, I think what Nigerians should be hammering on is that the judiciary should measure up.
Don't you think that we are going to be passing the baton to other arms? Now you've brought in the judiciary. At first, it was just between the National Assembly and, of course, an INEC. Now you've brought in the judiciary. It makes it more complicated because, I mean, if our election process is transparent and smooth, as Nigerians are asking, we won't even need the judiciary. Because, for example, if I want to get it directly with you, for example, you say, okay, you invest so much in electronic transmission, we get it right there. Whatever anybody sees, he or she will not contest it because they are aware that this is what was transmitted. So how would you now, where would you get the room to say, oh, there was manipulation? But if we have, as you say, manual and electronic, persons will still argue that in the process where the electronic failed and the manual took over, that was where their result was manipulated, thereby leading to the judiciary.
You see, like I was saying, these issues are very simple. And
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. We have a map of Nigeria. The NCC have the map of covered areas and uncovered areas.
Yes.
So if somebody wants to rely on the fact that election results were not transmitted electronically from A, B, C, D areas, and they were transmitted manually from B, C, E, no areas, we go to the map and check what area is actually covered and what area is not actually covered. Is the area in question part of the areas that were not covered? So I think, in as much as the judiciary, the lawyers also must be able to do more study into how this law, as it stands today, can be defended. And if you don't do what is right, you will never get it right. Why I said the judiciary is that the judiciary had an excuse. Now the excuse is no longer there. But the judiciary cannot say that INEC is not, it is not mandatory for INEC to transmit results. No, it's mandatory to transmit results. Only in areas where there is no network, that they may not be able to transmit results. And we know areas where there are no networks, probably from the NCC map of areas covered. So how can somebody now come and say that his area was transmitted, electronically, or results were collected manually, whereas in the NCC map, this area is covered by network?
Okay.
So these are some of the things.
Okay. So I know that if we were to dissect the judiciary, it's going to get more complicated, and we'll probably not go into what we're supposed to talk about. So we'll just go on a very short break. It's still NASWatch. When we come back from this short break, I will be delving straight into some of the issues of the National Assembly, and my guest will be helping me, dissect some of these areas. I mean, he's away from the house, so he's in a good position to share his thoughts on some of these challenges, to give us a clearer perspective on things. It's NASWatch, don't go anywhere.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impact they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NASWatch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
All right, welcome back. Honorable Solomon, let's look at a number of issues. Sometime last year, a lot of Nigerians were complaining that this is the worst National Assembly, the 10th House. Looking at it from outside, and these perspectives didn't just come out of the blues. There are a number of issues which I would want us to, break down, because I do believe that you've been there, so you have a clearer perspective on things, and I'm sure you will not hide anything from us. All right, so whenever you sit back and look at the 10th Assembly, from your perspective, what do you think?
Well, for me, it is an assembly. Probably they're doing what they know what to do. And probably they are not doing what they don't know how to do. And of course, there is no perfect assembly anywhere in the world. Every assembly has its own abilities and inabilities. And I think for me, I would say, I will not score them 100%, but at least I will score them 70 to 80%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a very good, that's an A if you ask me.
Yeah.
Honorable Solomon, you've been honest with me right now.
Because you see, let me tell you, the success of an assembly is that it's this one. Are they passing bills? Yeah, that's their responsibility.
Are these bills important to the average Nigerian?
Well, the bills must be important because the people who are passing these bills, or the people in the National Assembly, where did they come from? Did they just find themselves there?
They were voted in.
They voted in. So if there is any matter as to their performance, it is the people who voted for them that should be calling them to order. And if the laws they are passing are laws that the people who voted for them don't accept, it is the responsibility again of those people who voted for them to complain.
The people are complaining.
Well,
constituents are complaining.
they know
You see them complaining everywhere on the street, which is why we're here, which is why they're even talking about it.
there are modus operandi in which these complaints can be laid
Are you
out.
talking about recall processes? If
There
you're
are call processes, there are a lot of other more things to do. So how many members have been, in fact, even threatened to be recalled?
how many of these members even go back to their constituents?
Well, the constituents have not told us whether they are going back or not going back. Because I remember very clearly during our 8th and the 9th assembly that I was a member of, you hear cases of honorable members who were bullied in their constituencies.
Yes.
Is it happening today? It's not. It's not happening anywhere. So it means that they are doing well as far as their people are concerned.
What if the people don't even have a means to complain for you to see? What if they are complaining right there?
If they have the means to vote for them and they don't have the means to complain, I don't think they correspond, because they voted for them because of one thing or the other. If you look at the rate of return in the National Assembly, it's about 30% of members who come back. So it means that 70% of members, their people have one thing or the other against them, or the person they want to use to replace them looks more better. But are we actually better?
So this
If we are not, it means that our orientation as a people needs to change.
So these are the
Because
conversations.
the kind of people that are being replaced and the ones that are replacing them don't seem to be of any difference.
Okay, you just said something. I think at this point we'll have to mention some names. Let's say, for example, the people during the last election, we had Aduda out, and presently we have Senator Unity representing the FCT. Now, for that kind of replacement, do you think it's a positive replacement?
Well, replacements are not based on.
Do you think the FCT people made a good decision?
Well, they made their decision, and that's their decision. Whether it's good or bad, that is their decision. You know, in politics, a lot happened. Many people who ordinarily probably wouldn't have had anything to do with the National Assembly, for example, have cause to come to the National Assembly because of one sentiment or the other. So sentiments are also still driving our elections, which is what is keeping us where we are. Until Nigerians take away sentiment from elections and look at their candidates in the election based on their ability to deliver, then we will be free from it.
All right, let's look at a number of issues that I was able to scribble down. We have low turnover and poor institutional memory, which is more about the fact that people are not delivering, or lawmakers are not delivering. The average Nigerian people are not delivering on what they are supposed to do, which is one of the things we've talked about in terms of if your lawmaker is not representing you well or not doing what they're supposed to do, you know how to complain. Well, even though we still have an asterisk on that aspect, because not everybody knows where to complain. Not every lawmaker go back home to create town halls and interact with their constituents.
Let me tell you something. Even Nigerians themselves are not fair to lawmakers.
How do you mean?
Because we over demand from them.
Okay, what are we supposed to demand from them?
The functions of a lawmaker. The legislature, what is he? He's a representative of a constituency in the general parliament. What does he do? He brings the complaints of his people to parliament.
I like that.
Today, parliamentarians, if you don't build houses, you don't build schools, you don't build roads and hospitals, which is exclusively the work of the executive arm of government, you are thrown out of office.
I like what you pointed out.
Even if you have the highest number of bills in the house, even if during oversight functions you have been able to expose corruption and inefficiency in government, even if you have stood for ideals that stands for the growth of our country, doesn't matter. So long as you didn't build schools, you didn't build hospitals, you didn't provide solar lights, you didn't provide water in communities, you have done nothing.
But honorable, there is a certain budget for constituency projects.
How much is it? What can it do?
I mean, but they can do something.
I don't know, but when I was in the house, for us in Plateau, it was 125 million.
125 million can do something in your constituency.
Yes.
So how many of them?
Say it cannot do.
It can build blocks of local government schools.
How many?
It can do something.
Yes.
It can provide some level of healthcare.
Are you providing those schools in the ward headquarters, in the polling units? The constituency I represented had boundaries with Bauchi State, boundaries with Nasarawa State, boundaries with Kaduna State. I don't know if you understand. One constituency having boundaries with 3 states. And you want me to provide schools for 125 million in a year. That during our time when President Buhari was the president of Nigeria, we never had more than 60% release of that money. In fact, the first year, 2015 and 2016, it was 30% and 40% releases that were made. So of 125 million, 30% was released. How much is it? The second year, 40% was released. How much is it? How many schools can it be? From the boundaries of Bauchi State to the boundaries of Nasarawa and the boundaries of Kaduna State. So you see, the expectations are more than the resources available to you. And I believe that if we look at a parliamentarian as a lawmaker, as it is seen, for me, even the constituency thing should be taken away. Because it's not adding much value to our people, even though the value is there, but what is it? But if that is going to be taken away, our budget system must be reformed. Reformed in the sense that let us know of all the allocations we are making, how much is going to every constituency in Nigeria. Because realistically speaking, If not that I was in the House of Reps between 2015 and 2019, my constituency wouldn't have gotten a dime from the federal presence. It is the same, those constituency projects, and of course a few other projects that you lobby for through the leadership and of course some of the agencies of government that you are able to attract to your community. Otherwise, there was no any federal project in my community, there was no any federal project in my constituency. So my constituency would have come out for 8 years without any form of representation. So the budget process must be reformed. And I think that is the more reason why some of us are still hanging on to see what we can actually do to reform the budget process.
Do you want to come back?
Let it reflect the true federalism that we're talking about. If we have 50 trillion naira, let's ensure that this 50 trillion is equally distributed to the federal constituencies and of course by implication the senatorial districts of Nigeria. Otherwise, we continue like this. It's a scavenging kind of arrangement that is on ground today. And so if you don't have anybody from your own area or constituency that is a permanent secretary or is a director that can influence anything from the agencies of government to be, allocated to your own area, it means you are zero. And how many permanent secretaries do we have? But your constituency will have one at all costs. Well, we must reform the budget process. Let it reflect our national diversity.
All right. Let's now move on to, even though we've touched a bit on it, which is of course declining productivity and frequent recess. Lots of Nigerians have pointed this out as a problem in this current house. And I want to say that it is really becoming a problem. Almost like, in fact, presently they're on break. They were supposed to resume on the 5th, but there's a postponement again till the 10th. Almost every time the house is on break. And what you end up having is maybe committee meetings. That is if there are days for committee meetings. They come back from the break, and before you know it, they run through certain bills, run through plenaries, and before you know it, they are on holiday again. So a lot of persons have raised this as a concern. Why do they have to go on break? Frequent breaks. It's just like you working in an office and you're always writing for leave to your boss. Your boss, you're very unserious worker. So if you are here to represent us and you're always going on break, what do you make of it? In fact, this house have been termed as the most break goers.
Well, I may not be having the exact number of days they spend on breaks of this current house. But one thing I'm aware of is that there are minimum number of days that the house must sit in a year. And Nigerians have a right. Nigerians do have the right to say that this house was unable to sit for the minimum number of days in a legislative year. And for that reason, something must be done.
So for information purpose, let Nigerians know the number of days that the house is meant to sit so that they can now hold them accountable.
Well, I have to check, but I know that the house is regulated by those rules.
Those rules?
Yes. The house has a number of days that they must sit in a legislative year. And if they have not been able to sit in that legislative year, there are punishments. There are punishments that are also stipulated. I don't know whether it is I know that there are punishments that are stipulated. Let me not quote the wrong law, but I know that that is existing. And constituents as well can order through the Freedom of Information Bill to get the sitting register of a particular house and even check members who don't turn up for sessions, because the register will contain all of them, and all of them have their different punishments. Some may start even losing their seats. So I think these are things also that
are these things you're mentioning, are they enforceable? Because
they are.
I don't think if Nigeria's leaders they are able to enforce this.
You know, they're enforceable.
Because there's some representatives that's I mean, there are some persons that whenever I attend plenary, I don't get to see them.
Yes.
And they are representing their people.
Yes.
But you don't see them in the house.
Nobody is complaining. Nobody is complaining. Nobody is complaining. As you are now, based on the Freedom of Information Act, you can write the National Assembly to give you copies of the register of the Senate or of the House of Reps. The daily register. It is there. And at the end of every day, it's countersigned, it's crossed. So nobody writes his name after they have crossed the register. So those registers are there. It's left for constituents to now ask for those registers and see whether the registers, their members, are actually sitting for those minimum number of days or not. And it's very easy. You don't even need a referendum to do that. So, you see, in a growing democracy, some call it nascent democracy like ours, there is citizen participation that is required for us to get to that minimum standard level. Otherwise, we will continue to rigmarole around the same issues for as many years as possible without achieving any result. So by the time we start taking everybody by the laws that establish who they are, we are going to have results. And those results are going to be positive. Because if you are sitting in the house and they say that, okay, yesterday they passed a bill in the house on this matter, you know, severally we have been inundated by our constituents when I was in the house. They say, we learned that there was this bill for NGOs that is saying that all churches should be regulated. All places of worship should be regulated. That the bill was passed in security in the house yesterday. And I said, well, I was in the parliament yesterday. And even the vote of proceedings of yesterday, that issue is not even there. But many members will know. If you are not part of the house, you will not know that they exist. Because some of those clips are clips of some 2-3 years ago. Somebody just exhumed it and then posted it and they say it's yesterday.
Yesterday's sitting.
Yes. So I called my consultant who called me. I said, no, sir. That matter you're talking about was discussed 3 months ago. And if you go back to the sitting of that day, you will see that I spoke on the floor of the house that day. And I was part of the people who objected to the bill. And I said, no. Why will you regulate NGOs? Why? Have you finished regulating government agencies? Taxpayers' money.
You don't think NGOs should be regulated?
Well, for me, I don't think so.
Well, that's the topic on its own.
Yes.
All right, so it's not.
For me, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because NGOs are not, they don't just come about. They are registered.
Non-profit.
Non-profit. And it is expected that before anybody got registration in our country or anywhere in the world, that a KYC would have been carried out on the persons involved. And of course, they are dealing with banks. They're dealing with banks, transactions, and whatever things they are doing. They are seeing them. They know. So if they commit a crime, you will know. And we have agencies who are already responsible for checking the general financial crimes in the country.
That's true.
So we don't need to have a law to say we are going to regulate them separately and we're going to put somebody, to say he's the director general or he's this and that.
So you think
when we are trying to reduce cost of governance.
So you think it's not a very important thing to be deliberating about?
It's not an important thing to go and set up an organization for it to do. We have the ICPC, we have the EFCC, they are already checking all those financial records.
Okay, so, okay. But we'll just go take a breather, and when we come back, we will look at gender bias in legislation, and then we'll also look at oversight weakness and executive interference with Honorable Solomon. Don't go anywhere, so let's watch.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
All right, welcome back. It's still NAS Watch, and I've been talking extensively with Honorable Solomon, and we'll be talking about a number of issues at the National Assembly. And then if you're just joining us, well, you've missed the long part. Let's see what you can gain in the remaining parts of the program. Honorable, it's so great to still have this. I mean, you have been sharing a number of very important things with us tonight, I must tell you. And let's look at gender bias in legislation. I'm sure you're not ignorant of the fact that there's a reserve seat for women's bill ongoing right now. Voting is ongoing regarding to that reserve seat bill. What's your thoughts on the reserve seat bill? Let's start from there.
Well, for me, I don't know. But it's okay. It's okay if it's necessary. It's okay. But if it's not necessary, I don't know what they are going to act different.
So you don't think that there is any form of gender bias in the House, that we need to, create seats for women and make sure that they are given the opportunity to be there? I mean, if you look at National Assembly, the ratio to men to women is very wide.
Yeah, you see.
And then imagine men sitting down to deliberate on issues that concern to women. Isn't that catastrophic?
Is there any issue that concerns women that the men have not deliberated on it the way it's supposed to be?
But wouldn't it be better if we have women at least being part of the deliberations?
Don't we have women in the National Assembly?
I mean, how many of them if we have more women, for example, the Senate.
If you have more women, what will happen?
I mean, it will create a form of balance.
That's what I'm asking now. Is there any bill that has come before the House or the Senate that affects women that has not been properly discussed, or the resolutions were carried out against women?
I think I should be asking you that.
That's why I should be asking you.
I should be asking you that. Yes.
That several bills have come forth in the House regarding women. After all, these women are mothers. Mm-hmm. And you know how passionate most men are with their mothers.
That's true.
Just like most girls are with their fathers as well. And we cannot imagine a bill that is coming before us that is going to affect our mothers and that we kick against.
So beyond it affecting our mothers, don't you feel like to have more women?
I hope. Yeah, we should have more women. We should have more women. For me, the women's seat on the table is not a privilege. It's a right. Their seats on the table is a right. It's not a privilege. So I don't want women to feel as if they need to be given some special privilege to be on the table. No. Is that right? The few women that get there, how do they get there?
Through thick and thin.
Thank you. So it means that through thick and thin also, they can also get.
We should make, why can't we make the process smooth?
Some other assemblies of the past have had a lot of women in the parliament. Yes, there are some assemblies that had a lot of women.
Are you sure?
But well, let us see what will happen if the women come into the parliament. Let's see what they are going to do different.
You're optimistic that it's going to be different.
Why? But you see, the problem is this. Even the National Assembly is playing a lot of hypocrisy to this. We have 1 month to election. You have not passed the bill. So how are these women going to participate in the election itself? These are some of the things. So for me, let us not be hypocritical about the thing. If we really mean it, we can do it one night. After all, we've had bills that were passed within a day or two. We passed a bill, how many of the money bills were passed the same day?
That's true.
Yes.
So we really
If it is important, why are we not doing same for it?
which now brings us as
So which now tells you that there are a lot of people who are being hypocritical about it.
Okay, now that being stated,
And
which now
I wouldn't want my daughter to feel that the seat at the table is a privilege.
so it's
I want her to feel that the seat at the table is her right.
which now brings
She
me
should fight to take it.
very well there.
Yes.
Which now brings me to the part where you said something very important. Why the delay? Which now brings us to electoral reform delays. Why the delay in the passage of certain bills? Knowing fully well that the assembly have the ability to finish up everything in one day. I mean, they have done it before.
Thank you.
So when you say hypocrisy, I want to believe you're speaking from the angle of those who are sitting there.
Those who are considering it, because when they talk outside here, you hear that they are canvassing support for the new gender bill. Then what is stopping you from passing it? Why is it taking you this long to pass it? In a constitutional review that is going to have effect in the 2027 election, that 1 month to primary elections, the bill is not yet out. The bill has not been passed. Are you ready to pass the bill? And if you pass it, are they going to participate in this election, this coming assemblies? Or you are going to pass it and then you reserve them to participate in subsequent assemblies? And if you really intend that they should participate in the legislative business of Nigeria, why are you waiting till another assembly when you are here now that you can even take the bull by the horn? I know when the not too young to rule came before us in the house, in the other assembly. It didn't take us this long time to pass it, which was a constitutional amendment. Was a constitutional amendment bill. And we passed it. Before the 2019 election, the bill was already out. And by 2019, a lot of young people less than 25 years old were in the House of Reps. So if you are not being hypocritical about this bill, if you really mean what you say, you really want these women's numbers to increase on the floor of this house, the Senate and the House of Reps, why is it taking this long?
Thank you, Honorable Solobo. Thank you so much for talking to us. And with everything you have said, do you still think that the 10 Senates have the interest of Nigerians at heart? Do you still think that the 70-80% you gave earlier at the start of this conversation is a good score?
Well, it is. It's a good score, and I think they have Nigerians at heart because they are also Nigerians, and they are not going to be in the House forever or in the Senate forever. They want to go back home, and they will meet their people, and some of those laws that they do will affect them as well. So I think, like I said earlier, you can't do more than you know. and you cannot do what you don't know. So everybody is doing according to capacity.
So, Honorable Solomon, I am very, very curious. Are we going to be seeing you back at the House?
Well, maybe not the House, maybe the Senate.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So your people should get ready.
Yeah, they are ready already.
Oh, they are ready?
They are ready already.
That's a good one. What are you going to be doing differently this time around?
Well, a lot actually. Having been in the House for 8 years and having known also how the National Assembly works, I hope to see how my people can benefit maximally. Because in the House, of course, first time, make mistakes. Second time, you're planning what to do, thinking that if you have a third term, you will execute the agenda. But it didn't work out that way. So we have quite a lot. I intend to work much more closely with the executive to see what my people can get. Because I think in the governance of in a democratic setting like ours, and for legislators, representatives, it's about lobbying for your people, what they can get and how much of it can reach them. Not just being in paper budget representation. No, we want to see physical things that will come to us.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
My constituency is one of those that I think up to now does not have a federal institution. I think they should have one. Yes, constituency doesn't have a federal institution. I tried. I think we're able to get a technical college. That is not enough.
We need more.
Yeah, we need more.
All right. We at NASWatch, we definitely look forward to calling you distinguished senator.
Amen.
And definitely we'll be with you at the top of the way.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. Well, if you missed the conversation, you just have to wait till you go to our social media platform on YouTube, where this conversation will be up again. And of course, on Sunday, there will be a repeat of the conversation. It was such an amazing conversation with Honorable Solomon Bulus Maren. I do hope that you've gotten that as a constituent. There is so much more you can do to demand accountability from your representatives. We also do wish Honorable Solomon a huge success in his Senate quest, and this is the much we can take. NASWatch, my name is Cynthia Agbo. Do not forget to follow us on our social media platforms of Facebook and X, on TikTok. We are everywhere for you. From me to you, do have yourself a pleasant weekend.